Welcome back to the Fanspeak Network and another episode of Prop Party. This is a Week 17 Prop Party, and we're talking alts, anytime touchdowns, Thursday Night Football. Of course, a little fun talk at the beginning, but we'll get all into it in just 1 minute. That's right. Happy holidays to everybody. We just got past a 2-game Christmas Day slate. I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas, a wonderful holiday season. It's still, holiday week here. We don't know what day it is, but it's Thursday. It's Thursday, and so we're doing our prop party still a little earlier this time, but we are doing our prop party still to talk through Week 17, alts, anytime touchdowns, parlays. We do it every week as like our first look. Then, of course, our official plays are on our Dub Clubs. Link at the bottom, and go to fanspeak.com for a link there. It's a free week. Try it out. See if you like it. And we will put all of our official plays there. And then, of course, after we get through, we will talk Thursday Night Football. Tonight, we've got Seahawks, Bears, and we will build a show same game parlay. We've been missing it by one leg, I think, the last 3 weeks in a row. So hopefully we get on the winning streak here and get a show parlay. We will do that at the end. First, I have to say hi to the guys. Then I'm going to, of course, talk about best ball for just a hot minute, but I'll go to Tyler first. Tyler, how was your Christmas? How are you doing for Week 17?
It was good. Good mega. I mean, didn't have to travel much, which was good. It's never fun traveling around on Christmas. I mean, we got the gift of the Chiefs -1.5 on Christmas. I mean, talk about just FanDuel and every other sportsbook giving you a free one against the Steelers. And we'll get more into that in a couple minutes. But Christmas was good. I hope your guys was good also.
Yeah, no, our Christmas is good. I'm so glad to hear your Christmas is good. Despite your Steelers win, you profited off your pain and grabbed the Chiefs there on FanDuel Sportsbook. So I like that was the gift that kept on giving to you yesterday. Steve, how are you doing? And how are you? Well, I know how you're doing because you got 16 best ball finals. We'll get to that in a minute. But other than that, how are you doing for Week 17 besides sweating your best ball teams?
Doing well. Bet and played a little DFS yesterday, but not a ton. I just enjoyed watching the game, sweating out some of the best ball stuff. It turned into ugly blowout games. I mean, they thought, and look, these are going to be playoff teams. It's not like they were wrong with the Texans and Steelers. Just the way it went down was not pretty. And very, very big to both the Chiefs and the Ravens going on the road and having big wins. Showing, Chiefs won't be going on the road in the playoffs, but that's obviously shows just the nature of their team and what Andy Reid can do. Yeah,
no, they weren't fun from an entertainment standpoint yesterday, the games, but the Chiefs and Ravens definitely put on a show. We got Jamie in chat. Always good to see Jamie. Happy holidays to you as well. Always appreciate you being here. So I have to talk best ball really quick. Obviously, if you were with us this summer, we had best ball content almost every single weekday. Whether it was, spread or, I know Tyler, you did some with spread. Andrew and Justin, Steve and I, then we did some fun things like Best Ball Jeopardy, an 8-hour live stream. We covered best ball all summer long, strategy shows. And, today, or actually, I guess Tuesday, Steve and I got to enjoy that we have our whole entire family made it. I tweeted at Underdog, has a whole entire family ever made the Underdog finals. So I made the Bulldog finals. It's a 20-person final, so that's exciting. I also have a marathon sweat, which is a whole Week 1 through 17 cumulative. So have 2 Week 17 sweats. My mom made this Superflex Pomeranian finals. My dad made the Hound Dog finals. And so, our parents made it. But then Steve has 16 best ball finals. I mean, he put a lot of volume down, put a lot of effort in, and is seeing the fruits of his labors now for 16 best ball final sweat. So obviously big congrats to Steve. Hopefully you're watching this summer and stay tuned. Well, before you know it, it'll be best ball drafting season again with, of course, the pre-draft stuff right around the Super Bowl. So that'll be coming just around the corner and we will have plenty more best ball content for you. But right now we celebrate and sweat out the finals, right, Steve?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's, I have 13 teams on Underdog, 3 on DraftKings. But yeah, it's a variety of different tournaments. Unfortunately, none in either the the two flagship tournaments. But yeah,
Right.
it's going to be fun, and it's going to be interesting because, some teams, like yesterday, Henry was great for. Other teams, he wasn't. So we'll see how I can thread the needle again.
Yeah, you were
Hopefully.
able to thread the needle in semis to kind of get what you needed to, that's what's tough when you have that many teams rooting on. Like you said, some guys are going to hurt them, some guys are going to help them. This has been a fun, exciting week, and hopefully it'll be a fun through week 17, and we'll be sweating out our finals teams. So stay tuned for our results, and again, stay tuned for a lot more best ball content coming just around the corner. Now we're going to turn our attention to week 18, but in a minute, Tyler had to have a little Steelers therapy. He has warned us. He said this 3-game stretch that the Steelers have in like a 11-day span is going to be, what nightmares are made of. And he wasn't wrong. You weren't wrong, Tyler. I doubted you. I know Steve and I like Mike Tomlin a lot more maybe than you do. Spread, is definitely a Tomlin fan as well. I get it. Steelers fans are blessed that they don't have a losing season, but then it's frustrating when it gets to this time of year and you wonder if you have a lot to root for in the playoffs. So what's your Steelers therapy you have for us today?
Well, I mean, you said it, Meg. I mean, we get a winning season. It's like, yeah, it's fun. But another thing you said profit off the pain when we won the Chiefs bets. Is it pain when it happens over and over and over again? 5 straight playoff games with 31 or more points allowed. That's an NFL record. No other team has more than 3. 2016 allowed a season high 36 points to the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. 2017 allowed a season high 45 points to the Jags off the first round bye in the divisional round. Blake Bortles. The 2020 Steelers allowed a season high 48 points to the Browns in the wild card round. They were 11-0 to start that season.
Yeah.
The 2021 Steelers allowed a season high 42 points to the Chiefs in the AFC wild card game. And the 2023 Steelers allowed a season high 31 points to the Bills in the AFC wild card game. Tomlin's the only coach in NFL history to see his team allow a season high in points in 5 straight playoff appearances. No one else has a streak longer than 3. We're in playoff form right now because everyone knows what we're going to do. They have the blueprint. I don't know if you guys have watched the Hard Knocks episodes, but
I haven't actually.
There was
I've
a
seen
clip
clips
when
on
they
Twitter.
were showing Baltimore watching film on us, and he stopped the film. I can't remember the exact coach's name, but he stops it and he goes, "Russ is all 3-pointers and layups. There is no intermediate anywhere whatsoever." And he hit it right on the head. That offense is literally George Pickens down the field or just dump offs. And you literally just man up George Pickens, put a guy over top of him and bracket him. Nobody else is going to punish you on the offense, and you just cut off all the underneath routes. They can't run the ball. Their offensive line sucks, and they're making no adjustments. The defensive players are now starting to call players out. I don't know if you guys have seen the quotes online from last night.
Well, as I say, who are they calling out? Because I saw that tweet you referred to calling out.
I'm not sure exactly who the name is, but you have guys like Cam Hayward, who's supposed to be a big team player. We pay him all this money. He goes, if 10 of the 11 guys are doing their job and the other one isn't, we're kind of screwed. You don't want one of your best players saying that.
I just wonder who in the Twitter comments are they talking about Minkah Fitzpatrick? Who are they talking?
They are.
Yeah, because someone put in the comments like missing persons report missing Minkah. Yeah,
he hasn't done much. But the other thing about Tomlin is I know it's rough and people are just going to instantly jump to fire him. I've been on this bandwagon for years now because it's kind of old to just keep winning 9 games. Because you look like a Super Bowl contender until you get to 9 wins, and then the team just shuts off. So you're going to coast into the playoffs and just get crushed by an actual contender. His 3 playoff wins in 14 years, Meg, are against Matt Moore, A.J. McCarron, and Alex Smith. What are we even talking about? Like, I get it, he wins games, but they're regular season games, and they mean nothing. Let's maybe call Detroit and see if Ben Johnson's going to leave. Let Ben Johnson get a job. All these coaches, the last 8 coaches in a row, up until Bill Belichick, have all been offensive-minded head coaches that have won the Super Bowl. Tomlin ain't Bill Belichick, so he's not winning one. It's time for new guys in Pittsburgh, as much as I hate to say it.
I listen.
If they lose next week, Meg, and they lose in the first round, it's time.
Well, I don't think they're going to lose in the first round of the playoffs. As I said, if well, it depends if they lose next week. If they hold on to the seed they have, they're playing the Texans. Hammer the Steelers money line. I mean, spread. You're
don't know about that, Meg. I mean, Baltimore doesn't have the best pass rush, and Houston's got two guys on each edge that like to blow up plays, and Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter. They will have Russ having nightmares out there after what we've seen the last couple of weeks. Chris Jones didn't play yesterday, and the Chiefs were in the backfield every play.
Yeah, no, the offensive line's looking rough, and it is like layups and 3-pointers.
For as bad as CJ Stroud's looked, their defense will win them that game.
I don't know, spread. You got to jump in here. You think the Texans win? I think the Texans look like shit, and I just think you've got
playing the AFC team that's going to represent them in the Super Bowl.
But they haven't looked good. I mean,
yesterday,
I know they've played the Ravens and Chiefs back to back on this whole holiday, remix situation. But I mean, the Texans haven't looked good for a good chunk of the season. And yes, they haven't had all their weapons all together, but boy, has there been massive Stroud regression this year. The offensive line looks like crap. Massive regression for Bobby Slowick as an offensive play caller. Like that offense is painful, has been painful to watch for a good chunk of this season. I get that you needed an event in the Steelers therapy, but coming from spread and us as Washington fans, Vegas fans, the living through a 3-14 season it is so painful that it would be.
They're making
shirts
that say "Give me a 4 in 13 season." Fire Tomlin.
Oh my God!
We've won 2 Super Bowls in the last 20 years.
But
we will gladly suck for 5 to 10 years to try and fix this instead of just being 9 wins. Give us all this hope and die down the stretch, and then we just lose in the first round.
I think the problem is what Steelers fans need to realize is not only it precedes Tomlin, because Bill Cowher was amazing and Chuck Noll was amazing before that. You go back to 1970.
That's just wild. They've had 3 coaches in like a century.
Yeah, they've had only 3 coaches, and I think they have 6 seasons of 500 or less in that time. Like, that's insane. That's a decade for a lot of teams. And it's not as easy, so when you find a good coach, you should keep him. I mean, look at Philly, and Philly has been back to the Super Bowl, winning one, losing one since they got rid of Andy Reid. But Doug Peterson, as we now all see in Jacksonville, is such a fraud. Do we really think Doug Sirianni is the guy? I mean, sure, they're winning, but that team, I don't know. I don't know if I trust them. And I think we're very reliant on their elite players. And that's great.
I think this year their coordinators are probably carrying them. That's
I think Kellen Moore, again, showing, like, you look at what he did in Dallas, you look at last year with the Chargers before everyone literally got injured, and then this year in Philly, like, he's incredible. He should be a head coach. Him and Ben Johnson should be like the top 2 guys.
Gladly take either of them. You need an offensive mind in this town.
And sure, if you get that, that's amazing. But what if you don't? I mean, look how many coaches. Look at Shane Steichen in Indy. Like, sure, we can say it's Anthony Richardson, but that offense, he's supposed to be a quarterback genius. And I mean, Anthony Richardson looks awful. Like, they win in spite of him. So I just don't think it's as easy as, people want it to be. Dave Canales supposed to be quarterback whisperer, and maybe long term he is the right guy for Bryce Young. But
as I say, he's starting to turn things around.
Yeah, but it's been rough in Carolina. It's just not as easy as people think.
It's not. But one thing I will note on a lot of those spots that you named: bad ownership, bad management above the coach. I trust the guys in Pittsburgh to not make the wrong decisions. Also, with our guys spread in the chat, I think we can kind of do what the Spurs did in the NBA. They sucked for a couple years. Well, guess what they did? They drafted Tim Duncan and then won for 15 more years. And then Tim Duncan and those guys retired, and then they sucked again for 3 years. And they just drafted this 7'6" kid out of France. They're going to be good again in 2 years. So it's like, I am fully glad to do that if we can land our next franchise quarterback. We can't keep playing this game of plug and play and just draft in the 20s. You're not going to get that guy there. We were bad one year and they picked in the top, 10? And they drafted Ben?
Yeah.
You got to have that year.
Yeah, he was 11th overall. No, I mean, I agree to an extent, but it's also like, what if it's the wrong year? You know, like.
I mean, if you're looking for a quarterback this year, I'm sorry, Spreads.
No,
I know Spreads in the chat. This is it's a bad year for quarterbacks.
Like, sure, if you hit right and it's 2020 and your options are Burrow, Herbert, Tua, Love and Hurts, amazing.
And hopefully 24 will be.
Yeah,
hopefully these guys hold.
Look like a repeat of that, but
But it does feel like that happens every 4 years because it was like 18, 20, 24. Between that, I mean, my God.
We're preparing ourselves for that.
19 was awful. 21 was, I mean, then you had the COVID years, which I think just Fugazi people, I mean, oh my God, 21 was so bad. You know what I mean? Like it was these other 22 was so bad. I mean, that's the one where it's like literally it's Purdy and everybody's terrible. I mean,
that's the year we drafted Kenny Pickett.
That's the year you drafted Pickett. Yeah, no, I mean, but think of the people were excited about Malik Willis, I mean, we know as Washington fans, people were pounding the table for Malik Willis, this kid out of Liberty and stuff. It's like good story, but like there are some bad quarterback years, and unfortunately for Spread and teams that use quarterbacks,
old,
not
like we don't want participation trophies in this city. Like you got to bring home the big one.
I mean, listen, we have family. Steve and I, I went to school at IUP. A lot of friends are from the Pittsburgh area. Family is from Western PA outside of Pittsburgh. We get it. It's like you guys are truly like a city of champions, and like this mediocrity is not like any mediocrity is not accepted. I totally get it, but I really think you guys can. Obviously
we legit expect the Steelers to do this every year at this point, as much as we expect the Pirates to suck every year. They go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Hey, now you got an ace with the Pirates too, Yeah.
So. Yeah, he'll win his games, but he can't pitch every game, so we're screwed.
They need to clone him.
Yeah. Oh my. Anyways, well, we're rooting for the Steelers because we're rooting for you. We are rooting for Mike Tom. I know Spread in chat is rooting for Mike Tom. He's a Tomlin guy too. I get it. I get the frustration. I get this needing the Steelers therapy. I'm just saying you guys are set up. If you can hold on to this seed, you are set up for, I know then that's not fun if you go to the, Kansas City and get blown out or something.
My advice to you, Meg, with that Houston matchup, don't wager too much on the Steelers. Because you'll be slamming your hands on the table going, Will Anderson got him again.
We're going to have this conversation in 2 weeks, and I'm telling you, I'm already on the Steelers no matter what the number is. So I know where you're at. And so far you've been paid off for these last 3 weeks. So now it's time to talk week 17. Of course, you listen to Spread and Tyler for the spreads and the picks. They talk through it on Monday early this week. So go back and check that show out. Their picks will be up, by hopefully by tomorrow. Free NFL free betting card. Check that out. We're talking props. We're talking parlay or touchdowns. We're talking parlays. We're going to talk Thursday night football. It's early. It's holiday week. Holiday weeks are weird. So this is truly disclaimer and early look show, but early look, Tyler, what are you liking in the alt market?
Definitely want to get some Bucky Irving against Carolina. I mean, how many running backs in a row are going to go over 100 yards against Carolina? I think we're up to 5. James Conner was going to maybe get to 150, maybe 200 if his ankle didn't roll when he had the injury. Yeah. So I'm going to go right back to this. Give me Bucky Irving. His number is 78.5. I'll play it up to 110. Another one I'm going to play. We might have to play this guy up to 150. Jonathan Taylor. We just lost Steve, I see.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor against the Giants, Meg. I mean, we talk about Anthony Richardson being bad. Well, you just hand the ball off to Jonathan Taylor to take Anthony Richardson out of the game. He nuked last week, had 200 yards, multiple touchdowns, kicked me out of my fantasy league playoffs. So I'm going to go right back to him this week. I think he could literally replicate that week. I don't hate getting on some of the game specials with him, like 50 rushing yards in each half, 20, maybe I think they have the 10 in each quarter, depending on those prices. And I'm going to shout out our guy Keg again because they worked last week. First quarter props on Jonathan Taylor. Yeah. What's to say he can't get the first drive? They kick the ball off. They get a touchback, read option. He goes through the hole. There he goes for 75 yards. So I think he could have a big first quarter. He could have a big first drive and lead him straight down the field and score a touchdown. So Jonathan Taylor, Bucky Irving, and then we have to target these Jets, Meg, against the Bills defense that looks like it's reeling. They were letting Drake May and these guys move the ball. I don't see any props up yet for the Jets game. I want Adams. I want Wilson. I want Breece Hall on the ground. Maybe even an Isaiah Davis touchdown because he's still getting a lot of looks in there. So those would be the alts I'd be targeting right now.
Yeah, I just saw Kevin Roth from Roto Grinders just released. He said Northeast is having some weather this weekend, which sucks for a fantasy, a fantasy championship and best ball finals and everything. But there's a chance there could be heavy rain in that game. I'm hoping not, because spoiler alert, I do have a little bit of Jets on the team that popped through the finals, but I get what you're saying.
Looking at the weather forecast right now, it says 91% definite rain.
Yeah, he said it's like definitely going to be rain. It's just, is it going to be like showers, which, as we saw in that Thursday night game a couple of weeks ago with 49ers Rams, we usually say, okay, just focus on wind. But when it's like, monsooning or really coming down, that can obviously buzzkill an offense.
Makes me still like the rushing props a little bit more though, in both of those spots we talked about, because they're playing at the Giants versus the Colts. You don't want Anthony Richardson throwing in bad weather. She's going to hand it to Jonathan Taylor or have Anthony Richardson run it. So don't mind adding in his rushing prop also. But yeah, Breece Hall, I think you could do a little parlay there. We'll talk about that when we get to that section. But Jonathan Taylor, 100 and a touchdown. Breece Hall, 100 and a touchdown. I think that's very live in those two matchups if weather's not going to be that bad.
Yeah. Steve, I'll catch you up on Tyler's alts was Bucky Irving, Jonathan Taylor, Jets props, depending if there looks to be rain in the Jets-Bills game. If there's heavy rain, he likes Breece Hall. If not, he's open to Wilson Adams. So those are some of the alts he liked, which I like as well. So what are you looking at? Early look at alts, Steve? Can you hear me okay?
Oh, we can't hear him.
Sorry, I'm still struggling for whatever reason. But my favorite alt is Bijan Robinson.
Okay. In the night game against. Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, you're good. Okay, so Bijan, anything else? Who else are you liking?
Yeah. I know it's a night game, but that is by far my favorite alt. We just saw what Saquon did. And then I like two other players. One, Bucky Irving.
He said Bucky.
Receiving, but I'm fine just going rushing. I do think Carolina is very susceptible. Okay, I couldn't hear if he said that or not. And the two other receivers.
We might be having a little lag.
I like going back to the Brian Thomas Jr. well.
Okay, BTJ.
Yeah,
I'm writing these down.
No worries. I'm going to turn off my camera. Yeah. So BTJ, and then the final one that I wanted to point to is the other player in that Buccaneers game, Mike Evans.
Still chasing down that 1,000
yards a year. And Carolina's secondary is very exploitable as well. So I like taking him up to 100.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, so far we got Bucky, Jonathan Taylor, potential Jets, Breece, Wilson, Adams, Bijan. Of course, that's a great call out Sunday night in Washington. Actually, could be weather there as well. We saw what Saquon did to the Washington rush defense is awful. We thought it was going to be the pass defense. It's the rush defense for Washington. It's really susceptible. Steve said, go back to Brian Thomas Jr., Mike Evans. I like that. Let's say hi to Andrew. Put up the comments, but we got our guy Andrew in chat. What's up, fam? Don't forget to hit that like button. So we got Steve we got the great and powerful Oz behind the curtain there. We got Tyler. And I am going to look at a couple early look props. I'm also going to go in that same game with Brian Thomas Jr. I want an early look at Calvin Ridley, revenge game, and Chikakonkwo getting a ton of targets from Mason Rudolph. Those are my two favorite in that same game, Ridley and Chig. And then obviously we got to pay attention to the Hurts news, but Dallas obviously gives it up in the run game. We saw what Saquon did. He's still chasing down, the Eric Dickerson record, still very much in play if he gets like 130 a game here. So I know those are big numbers, but you can certainly go to that as well. I do like a lot of the Bucs props. The guys covered Bucky and Evans. You could certainly go to Baker as well in that game. I think that game's going to have more pushback. And I'll also say, shout out the other side, Thielen out of the slot against a pass funnel defense in the Bucs. And if you want to target Bryce Young. So I really, my two favorite games on the slate to target and probably just build a same game parlay would way to target that yet, but I like that game as well.
I don't know if it's me freezing up, Meg, or you freezing
I don't know. This is just a freaking disaster as far as
I think it's Meg cutting out. I think we're losing Meg and Steve. So Steve, you still there? Oh no. Meg froze like it was a picture. So I shall take over from here, and we shall jump into some touchdown scores while they get that figured out. Let me get DraftKings pulled up. Well, actually, one other guy I want to talk about, Jordan Love versus this Vikings defense. Yeah. They put pressure on the quarterback, but they are going to give up a ton of passing yards. And Jordan Love has been playing out of his mind. Hasn't thrown a lot of picks. He threw for, I believe, 300 yards in this first matchup. You get plus 105 on 250, plus 200 on 275. And on 300, you get close to 4-1 on that. So I'll be on Jordan Love in that matchup. Honestly, think they could pull off that win. Spread, if you're still in the chat and you want to jump on, you can. Same thing with you, Andrew. We could talk some props.
So
here's our guy, Steve. What's up, Steve?
Yeah, sorry. I agree with you on Jordan Love. I also like Darnold on the other side. I know the props are a little, 250 is minus 125, 275 plus 155. But, we've seen it. Look, there's still a high throw rate. Obviously, sometimes they're just blowing teams out, so they stop throwing. But, like the Packers are susceptible in the back end. A couple of weeks ago, last week, we can't judge at all.
Yeah, for sure. I agree there. You want to dive into some touchdowns while we wait for Meg to come back? I'll start us off. Let me get DraftKings pulled up. Let's see. I do want to target, where is he at? Keyshawn Booty in this Chargers-Patriots game. The Chargers defense has not fallen apart, but they've given up a lot of yards, and it's been through the air. Drake May has looked good, and you're getting a plus 350 on him to score a touchdown there. I don't hate targeting maybe 3 of his guys, because you get Hunter Henry at plus 320. You're getting Booty at plus 350. Demario Douglas is 380. Austin Hooper's 4-1. Kendrick Bourne's 450. You could pick 3 guys in there, and if he throws 2 touchdowns and you get the 2 right, you can make 6 to 7 units on that. So do not hate targeting those guys in that matchup. There's Meg. How are we doing over there now?
Rough. This is rough. Steve and I are both visiting family, and here I had it all set up for a morning show. Thought we were all set for the day. Apparently we weren't. It was great this morning. I had to restart it to connect directly, and I think I'm better now. Hopefully, I apologize for the technical issues, guys. Thank you for holding down the fort, Tyler.
The only thing you missed, as I touched on Jordan Love, taking him up to 300 passing yards against the Vikings, because good matchup. He did very good in that matchup the first time they played, and he was on one ankle, basically. He was playing off the injury first week back, so love him in that matchup. Yeah. And then I touched on, we started into touchdowns, and I went into this Patriots game. Yeah. And I was just talking about all his targets from Hunter Henry down to Kendrick Bourne. It's anywhere priced from plus 320 to plus 450.
Yeah. And
I don't hate taking 2 to 3 of those guys. And if he throws 2 to 3 touchdowns and you happen to get them all right, you're going to make close to 12 units.
Yeah. Yeah, no, seriously. Who's
your favorite?
You
only need one to profit.
To profit, yeah. Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. Who's your favorite? Is it Henry? Is it, what was it last week?
I think it would be Keyshawn Boutte.
He's
slowly become their wide receiver one. At plus 350, I'll take a shot on him.
Yeah. Speaking of quarterback conversation, can't wait to see what weapons they get for Bryce Young, because I think he's going to be a fun fantasy /
one of these teams. I don't know if it's going to be Carolina or if it's going to be the Patriots. They're going to draft that wide receiver out of Arizona.
Yeah, McMillan.
He's a stud.
He's absolute beast. Yeah.
Is he going will he be an early first rounder?
Yeah, top 10 easy.
Okay.
It's going to be quarterbacks, Hunter, who will play both ways, but likely to be primarily a corner.
Right.
Maybe another defender or two, maybe an offensive lineman, and then him. So it just depends on team need and stuff like that. But yeah.
He's huge, Meg. He's Mike Evans all over again.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm not a college girl. I'm an NFL girl. And then I pay attention to the college off-season process from January to the draft. So
I was on vacation in Jersey, and you can't bet player props in PA, but you can in Jersey for college.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Arizona plays tonight. Let me go see what McMillan's receiving yards are set at. They're set at 94.5. And I was like, man, this is really high. I bet at the over, Meg. He had it by halftime.
Yeah. And he's terrible quarterback play. Absolutely.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Well, even better. Yeah. Okay. So if we're getting another Mike Evans, and then I like that. Okay. We got Jamie in chat saying Barkley will break the record. I would absolutely against the Giants. I would love to see that. Actually, I actually really would like to see him break. It's fun to see.
Do you see what Schefter said they should do?
Yeah. That basically pull him against
lose the game on purpose to get the Giants out of the first pick.
Yeah. Yes, I did see that. No, I think Barkley breaks it. Okay, so you covered a couple of the Patriots touchdowns. Any other touchdowns you like, Tyler? Or Steve? Any touchdowns you like?
Pull that back up.
So first one I'll go to.
You, Steve, can go ahead. I'll scroll through and see if I find any more.
Okay, yeah, and then I'll go back to you before me.
Obviously we talked a lot about the Bucs game already. I think Mike Evans is the touchdown guy. And just have to go there. But the guy I really want and talked about him in props also is, Brian Thomas Jr. I can't get away from him. Plus 145. He not only does he get 100, but he gets a touchdown every game. And I like taking the other side of that also and going Calvin Ridley plus 205.
205 for Ridley. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen him better with Mason Rudolph. He and Chig are going to get pretty much all the passing work. So I like that. And you can take longer odds with Chig, who just hasn't gotten touchdown variance, but he's getting the targets these last couple weeks. And two others that stand out to me a little bit. I like the number on Jonnu Smith at plus 200. Again, just incredible usage. Browns, this is not the defense they were a year ago.
Yeah.
I do worry about blowout spot here with DTR likely starting again, it sounds like. But yeah, I'm all about that. And then look, Tyler was just talking about Love. This Packers-Vikings game has one of the highest totals on the slate.
Mm-hmm.
The Packers are a little tougher to predict, especially with not sure on Christian Watson's status. Vikings, on the other hand, are not. Justin Jefferson is plus 105. Jordan Addison is plus 170. We've seen
they've both gotten touchdowns the past couple of weeks. Yeah.
Again, so I'm fine taking both of those, and I'm also fine parlaying them. Josh Jacobs is obviously the best touchdown odds, but it's minus 195. You can parlay all three, Jacobs, Jefferson, and Addison. I think you are in a really safe spot there.
Yeah, because we like that as a high total game, and those are obviously the three most likely, but then you're getting the plus odds on the Vikings side, so I like that. Let me go to, before I go back to Tyler, and then I'll take a spin at my first look touchdowns. Andrew in chat likes Bucky Irving, so I think everybody here likes Bucky. I can't have Bucky have too big of a game because not on my best ball finals team, definitely on my competitors' team, so hope it's a little tamped down, but Bucky Irving, Jamar Chase, of course, that's Saturday's game. When you guys were talking about the Patriots, we got 3 games on Saturday. So again, we will have Dub Club for tonight. We will have it for Saturday, and we of course have it for Sunday, and then of course Monday slate too. So again, check out the free link at the bottom or the link on fanspeak.com for a free week. But Jamar Chase on Saturday against The Broncos, you have to like that. And then, BTJ, he loves that. It was his best ball darling. He's right. Check out our best ball promo video on our advance rates. And we each had a clip of some of our favorite, like more contrarian takes that it wasn't like, oh, this is what everybody wants, early. And BTJ was Andrew's. So shout out to Andrew, because he has been a absolute smash in best ball. It'll be fascinating to see where he goes next year for the 2025 drafts. Okay, Tyler, any other touchdown looks that you like?
Yeah, I wanted to touch on the Dontavian Wicks. If Christian Watson misses, definitely want him. One is props, one is alts. He runs a lot of the same routes. He gets a lot of separation. And with that Vikings pass defense, if we think Love's going to throw for a ton of yards, one of these guys is going to have a great game, if not multiple. So I want Wicks at the lowest number we can get him.
Yeah.
The moment we get Watson news. Now, if Watson's rolled in, I probably end up just staying away from Wicks. But this is the kick in the nuts touchdown, Meg. Chig plus 330, and I'm betting the first touchdown 15-1.
Yeah.
That 155-1 was this close.
It was this close. If you tailed our Fanspeak touchdown,
and then he scored the 2-point conversion on us.
Exactly.
You got to be kidding me.
We got every other one. We got Jamar Chase late in the game. We needed Chig. He was one of the most targeted. I think he got the most targets on the team.
He was the most targeted guy.
The most targeted guy. So it was a great call out.
Everybody scored on their offense, but the guy we needed. So we're going to bet him this week, and he's going in first at 15-1.
Please, because he's on my finals team. Let's go.
We were watching Red Zone, and I had ESPN up on my computer, and I saw the Titans scored, and next thing Red Zone pops up. But I missed whatever the touchdown, but I saw they showed Chig in the end zone, and I was like, we got it. And we did not.
It is the 2-point conversion. Yeah.
I was so excited for a second, and then I was like, oh.
We were so close.
2-point. Yeah.
So, we're going to get him this week.
So close. No, I like that call. I think looking at a lot of the games we liked, you guys talked about, like the Green Bay Vikings game, the Bucks, Panthers game. So I like obviously targeting those games. I think you could go back to, if you wanted to go back to Chuba too. I mean, he's minus 140. So I'm on DraftKings right now. You might usually get a better number on FanDuel. But I also like a lot that you all both mentioned in that Titans-Jags game. You just mentioned Chig. You just mentioned Calvin Ridley, BTJ. So I like all those prices. I'm trying to see what other games are available right now for the Sunday games, because not all are available. Because there's a lot of cross-off games Sunday with like the Raiders, Saints, outside. I don't like the Giant side, so there's definitely a lot of cross-off spots for me. So we will finalize everything. I like, honestly, a lot of your guys' early looks. I don't have a ton to add there. Okay, so now that we've covered alts, and thank you if you stuck with us. Thank you for sticking with us through technical difficulties indeed, but we're powering through. We got alts, we got anytime touchdowns. Now let's each do a parlay, and then we'll talk Thursday night football. So Tyler, you've had some fun parlays this season. What are you cooking up for us today?
We're going to go back to that Green Bay game, Meg.
That sounds good. Yeah.
We're going to use Jordan Love plus 250.
Okay, I like that.
Use Jordan Addison 70+ receiving yards.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to use a Justin Jefferson touchdown.
Yeah. Ooh, I
and
like
we're
that.
going to alt this total up to about, let me see what I would like this at. Just because DraftKings pre-builds the odds in once you're looking at it.
Yeah.
We will go under 57.5. And that gets us a
anti-correlated
ticket.
Nice. I like it. Yeah, you throw in an alt under, and you can with overs and a touchdown. Oh baby.
Yep.
So what? Yeah, 17-1. You said, or 17.5. Nice.
17-1 on that one. We just missed that one on the Steelers versus the Ravens last week, Meg, by 6 passing yards.
Yeah. Yes. That's right. You had that nailed down. That's what I mean. You've been on this year. I know Steve's had a couple this year. So Steve, what do you like as an early parlay?
So I'm going to go sinking parlay also, and I'm going to go Panthers Bucks.
Mm-hmm. That's the other game. Yeah.
Unfortunately, right now they don't have Thielen lines. I really would like to add that, but
definitely, yeah.
Right now I have a 4-legger of Baker Mayfield plus 275, Bryce Young plus 250, Bucky Irving 70 rushing yards, and Mike Evans 100 receiving yards, and that's 2,000. I would not mind adding Adam Thielen. I know it's 5 legs, but look, I think these are more condensed offenses.
Mm-hmm.
I also think you can approach it maybe Chuba receiving. Rushing, it's tough to run against the Bucs, but I think Chuba receiving, his over-under right now is 19.5. I don't mind that at all. You could obviously take it up to 25 if you want, but 19.5 I think is a fair add to this.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that a lot. All right, just like you didn't have, let me check on FanDuel really quick. You didn't have the Thielen line. I don't see a Chig line right now. Let me check on FanDuel because I was going to do the other game, the third game that we've mentioned a lot in these alts and touchdowns. We mentioned obviously the Bucs Panthers, the Packers Vikings, and the third game is, well, it's not from a playoff standpoint. For props, it's nice, and that's the Titans Jaguars. So let me see if I can find if I can get a Chig line on FanDuel because you could not on DraftKings. Nope, there is not. But early look, I would do. We had this in a low. There's another bad beat. Our touchdown missed by obviously the Chig, got the 2-point conversion, had the most targets. Bad beat there. We had a low lines parlay with Chig Okonkwo 40. Devon A-Chain 40. Steve, who was the third one that hit? Jahmyr Gibbs receiving, which we talked here about this last week with obviously Montgomery out. They were both getting receiving work. Jahmyr Gibbs 40. We just need Brenton Strange 40.
What Chig line were you looking for, Meg?
Receiving or
37.5.
Okay, I'd probably go 40 for Chig and get a little plus odds there.
That's on BetMGM there.
Okay, nice. Thank you. Yeah, no, so I would go Chig 40. I don't know what the exact number building on DraftKings or FanDuel. But yeah, we just missed by Brenton Strange. He fumbles at the end of the first half and barely plays the second half. It's like we were just talking about Doug Peterson earlier in the show. You're going to be fired. What are you like benching guys for? This sucks.
Benching a second round pick.
Yeah. Like
I'm still convinced they forgot to fire. There's two things I'm convinced on this year in the NFL.
Forgot to fire him. Yeah.
I'm convinced they forgot to send the fax over to fire Doug Peterson, and I'm convinced that Michigan put a robot out there at wide receiver last year named Roman Wilson and forced us to waste a third round pick because that's not a real person. He's not real. He's not real.
We talked about that last week. He was like one of my highest owned best ball guys. He was on so many
He's legit not a real person. I'm convinced. He doesn't have a Twitter account. You don't see him on the field. You don't see him in Hard Knocks. It's like, where is this guy?
Where is this guy? I thought when he got the preseason injury and then they were like, oh, it's not like season. It's not like, that bad. Like, but he missed all of training camp. I was like, okay, we missed training camp, but like, I'll just lose him for like 4 weeks. Nope. Never came. He came back for like, didn't he like mythically come back for like a game?
He came back for a week. Like they were like, he's active, he's playing. And then he didn't play a single snap. And it was like, where's he at?
But then he got hurt again.
Disappeared into the wind. Just never be
hurt in the witness protection program.
I mean, and it's like Steelers are the most wide receiver needy team. And yes, we thought this pick was going to like slide right into that Deontay Johnson role. What the hell? I'm with you on those two facts. Why isn't Doug Peterson fired? Where the hell is Roman Wilson? Is he real?
Just love the fact that the Jags were like, we're going to fire Doug Peterson if we have a bad loss to the Lions this week. And the Lions said, all right, we'll do you the favor and beat them by 50.
We will bury you.
Yeah. And then
they said, we forgot to fire him.
Yeah, Jamie said he still believes in Roman. I watch next year. He'll like break
so
out
in the national championship run. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting. So
he was so good because I was a robot out there running routes.
Connor Stallion was putting on.
That was the test subject for Elon Musk's robots that just came out.
Well, hopefully we find out next year. Maybe I'll see if I go back to the well on him in best ball drafts if we're getting him in like the last
18th round.
Yeah, 18th round. I mean, since we haven't seen the guy, hopefully we can get some 18th round Roman Wilson. I mean, he didn't hurt you because he was going late this year too. But wow, yeah. Anyways, we've got the Titans, Jaguars. And they benched Strange. We lost our low lines ticket, but I'm going back to Chig at 40. I went, Calvin Ridley, 80, 90, whatever you're comfortable with. Brian Thomas, 80, 90, 100, whatever you're comfortable with. Those three guys together. I'm not even going to mess around with the quarterbacks. And then that'll be like a 3-legger there that I like. But we'll finalize that obviously for real actual numbers. Okay, so now we've covered alts, we've covered anytime touchdowns, we covered parlays, we of course talked best ball, Steelers, all that playoffs from the jump. Now it's time to talk about the Thursday night football game that we have tonight between the Bears and the Seahawks. Obviously, Seahawks are still playing for something. Bears really aren't. I believe there could be a little bit of rain, nothing crazy tonight. I need to honestly cram some research after this before I finalize our Thursday night football dub club. But with that said, I know I like JSN. I do think the Seahawks win this game. How do you see this game going, Tyler?
Yeah, I'm right with you. I'm all Seahawks here. Okay, they played two NFC North teams back to back. And NFC North teams, I keep talking about this on every show because it's just a wild stat. They've lost one game outside of the division since October.
That's insane.
So it's like they don't lose to anyone but each other. And then Seattle has to play two of them in a row, and they lose. Don't get me wrong, the Green Bay game wasn't all that close. But in the second half, if Geno doesn't get banged up, I think Seattle makes that a lot closer of a game for Green Bay than they expected. Last week, they were very close to pulling off that win against the Vikings. Mm-hmm. And now they're going to come down and get a matchup against Chicago, who looks like they can't do anything right. And they're only -4.5. I'm on Seattle here. Even with Walker out, their defense should be able to give Caleb Williams problems. They have the secondary to slow these receivers down. They're not going to be able to get the run game really going with Swift. I trust Charbonnet to get the run game going on the other side. The receivers will be open. I'm on Seattle here. They win this game by a touchdown.
Okay. I agree with that too. Even in Chicago. I just think Bears are probably packing it in. But Steve, what do you think for tonight's game?
Yeah, I mean, overall pretty similar. I don't mind Seattle. I think Seattle wins. I don't mind them at the spread. It's 4.5 right now. And you could even boost it up a little bit, like Tyler suggested, to make maybe 6.5 if you want to get a little better odds. If you think they are winning by a touchdown. I will say I do like Chicago for some props. We saw last week against Lions, who sure are not the healthiest. But they produced. They were able to throw the ball, and I think they'll be able to throw the ball against the Seattle as well. So
are you going back to, do you like the Keenan Allen props the most?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Talk about, and it started a little beforehand, but kind of when they changed the offense coordinator, but new offense coordinator, new coach, Keenan Allen has been the man. This is what he should have been all along. Should have been Caleb Williams' safety blanket, should have been the guy. And I know he was banged up early in the year and all that, but should have been the guy really helping out his young quarterback. That's why they trade for him, and it's working. DJ Moore and Odunze are still fine, and we'll hit there from time to time. But I think Keenan Allen, and he's also not going to deal with these big athletic corners on the edge like Woolen and what's the name, the other guy. And so I think he'll likely have the best matchup in the slot most of the time.
Yeah, since the the game before Thanksgiving against the Vikings, this is Keenan Allen's targets: 15 targets, 8 targets on Thanksgiving. They had the blip where they were god awful against San Francisco. He only had 5 then. 13 targets, 13 targets. So I definitely have interest.
I think I found a nice bet for us at 17-1 here.
Hey, we might just be able to tail this. What do you think?
Just because they listed these yesterday and I missed it by 1. It's the Triple Crown bet: most passing yards, most receiving yards, most rushing yards.
Oh, okay. What is it?
Just take what would you like if you were to think this? It's only this game, so we got 2 quarterbacks, we have all the weapons, and 2 running backs. What would you like? What would you make the favorite? It'd probably be Geno. Would it be one of his weapons, or would it be a Chicago guy and then Charbonnet?
I would say it's either Keenan Allen or JSN for receiver.
Well, the JSN one is 550. Geno, JSN, Charbonnet. Geno, Keenan Allen, Charbonnet is 17-1.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's getting bet.
Yeah.
I would, what I would do is I would do that. And I'd also replace Caleb and do Caleb, Keenan, and Charbonnet. I think Charbonnet wins the rushing side of this easily.
Yeah, I think you're just playing. I like that idea, Steve. Bet both of those. Let me see what that one is.
Yeah.
Caleb, Keenan. Where's that one at? Caleb, Keenan, Charbonnet is 12-1. So, yeah, you get 12-1 and a 17-1.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I I like that call. No, I like that call out a lot. That's and so that's betting the most passing, receiving.
Yeah,
rushing
if you
yards.
go on FanDuel and you go under the popular tab, you'll see Triple Crown. It says
Oh, okay.
most
I've never
pass,
bet that
most
before.
receiving,
That's
most
fun.
rushing yards.
No, that's fun. I'll look into that tonight too. I like that. I like that a lot. Well, before we build our Thursday night football same game parlay show, one which we have been very close the last few weeks, got to get it home tonight. Who scores first tonight, Tyler? Who's your first touchdown pick for tonight?
Let me scroll back up so I can see odds on that. Let's see. First touchdown. We're gonna go with his favorite target of our last couple of weeks. Just give me JSN 7-1.
Yeah, I think that's a great move. Okay, so Tyler's got JSN 7-1. Steve, who do you have scoring first tonight?
I'll keep it pretty simple also, and I'll go Keenan Allen. I'm seeing 12-1 on DraftKings. Not sure what it is on FanDuel. But yeah, I mean, his usage, like you were just saying, has been incredible since right before Thanksgiving. So yeah, sign me up for that.
Has Adunze been getting more of the red zone targets? I thought this of late.
He did a couple weeks ago, but
yeah, that kind of. I know a lot of DFS players were chasing. Then he had that one game with 2 touchdowns, but then has kind of been honestly quiet overall this season. This is tough. I was going to try to look for a long shot, but I really don't love them.
Yeah.
I don't love the long shots. Give me. I'll do the other side.
I'll tell you one long shot I do like.
What? Yeah, because I'm struggling for a long shot. Are you there, or did we lose?
Well, it's still on the Bears side. Cole Kmet. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. No, we
it's
can.
Still on the Bears side. Cole Kmet plus 2,000. I think we saw he got the touchdown last week. He's still involved a little bit. He's clearly taken a step back from early in the year, but he's still involved.
Yeah, no, I like that. I don't mind taking a shot at DK Metcalf. He's almost 10-1. He's plus 950. So I don't mind taking a shot there. I do like JSN much better. So no, I think that's fun. So we talked about first touchdowns, JSN, Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet, DK Metcalf. Nothing too crazy there, but yeah. So now it's time to build a show same game parlay. Tyler, you get the first leg. What are you going with here?
Give me Charbonnet over 69.5 rushing yards.
Okay. So let me go back here. Let's find his alt 70 to make it easy. Okay. So we got Sharp 70 rushing yards. How do you guys like his receiving yards? Because I kind of am interested in that too.
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, we've seen in games without Kenneth Walker, he gets most of the work, and that includes the receiving side.
Okay. Okay, Steve, what's your leg?
I'm going to go, we might just be building this Triple Crown, but I'm going to go Caleb Williams, 225, even money for 225 for a guy who, just threw 300 plus against the Lions. Outside of a handful of games, he's looked much better again with the coaching changes. So I'm going to go Caleb Williams plus 225.
Yeah, I'm going to go Keenan Allen. I was just deciding between receptions or yards. I'll go yards on this one. I'm going to do Keenan Allen 70 plus yards. That gets us a little over 5-1. So we got Charbonnet 70 rushing, Caleb Williams 225, and Keenan Allen 70 plus receiving for a little over 5-1. I will put that in. I will tweet it. It'll of course be in Dub Club for you guys to tail. So definitely check out Dub Club again, free week, link at the bottom, or go to fanspeak.com homepage to grab that link for a free week trial. But yeah, I will tweet that out after this show as well. So I like that as our show same game parlay. As always, thank you guys again for sticking with us through the technical difficulties. Let me get these guys' final thoughts for week 17, Tyler.
Yeah, final thoughts. I got one more play for the people just because I think it's a pretty easy one. We had this spot earlier in the year with the Lions. They played Dallas. They were -3 on the road. Everyone was kind of scared off by the fact that they were only -3. Well, they had a quote-unquote revenge spot because remember that game last year against Dallas where Dallas etched out the game where everyone thought they shouldn't have won. They did. Well, Detroit turned around this year and said, here's a blowout by 40-plus points. Now they get to play the team that kept them out of the Super Bowl, who's going to come hobbled into this matchup, and they're only -3.5. It's going to happen again, Meg. They're going to beat them by like 40.
Yeah, so, we saw it last week when people were like, Goff can't play outside. And he was like, yeah, no.
It's going to be an ugly one for San Fran. Detroit's going to put their foot on the gas. I'll probably alt that up to 9.5.
Yeah, no, I like that call. I like that call a lot. So Tyler's on the line spread, alting up the line spread, having some fun with that. I like that call out a lot.
Let me see if they're listed too, Meg. If they might not be up yet, but on FanDuel, they normally list, for weekly specials, they're not up yet, the biggest blowout of the week.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to be on that game to be the biggest blowout of the week.
Oh, okay. I like that. That's a fun one. That's a fun call because I think a lot of people wouldn't really go to
All
that.
we
And
need
that's
is
the Monday
Dallas
Night
to
Hammer.
score a couple points against Philly.
Yeah, exactly. We just need a little Dallas pushback. Before I go to Steve, Jamie says, do you think Bills and Bucks are a lock to win? The money line parlay is -192. Which team should I add for better odds? Well, I would say the Lions, based on all three of us agree there. Would you say that?
Yeah, if I had to pick one right now, it'd be the Lions.
Yeah, and I'd say, well, what is you were talking about the spread? What is the Lions money line?
-3.5.
What are they on the money line if you added like
-180?
-180. Okay. Yeah.
Gonna push out the plus money.
Yeah. I like that a lot. But yeah, I think Bills and Bucks win.
I'm not gonna say the Bills are a lock to win.
I was gonna say you did say lock, so yeah. I think the Bills and Bucks are
Jets'
gonna win.
offense has come together last couple of weeks as Bills' defense is starting to fall off.
Yeah, they have a couple injuries on the back end, Rasul Douglas and somebody else too. Yeah. So, how much is the? I assume the Eagles' money line is ginormous. No, it's only -300.
No, because
I guess because of the Hurts news. Yeah. So.
What I will say, where I do think is much more of a lock would be Dolphins against the Browns, especially looking at like DTR starting.
Yeah, that's a good point.
As much as I want to agree with you, it's Tua in what could be some of the worst weather he's ever played in.
That is true.
Yeah, they're -300 as well.
But no, I do like adding the Lions. Obviously, I'd wait till the night game, the Monday night, for it to come through. But yeah, you had the Lions, and I think that's solid bet.
Yeah, no, I like that. Steve, final thoughts for week 17.
I think we went over tonight's game. I think there's going to be some offense, but I do like Seattle. I think the Saturday games are going to all be interesting. We do need to wait on some news for like James Conner and a few guys, but I think we touched on it a little bit, but there are some props there, and also you want to go money line bet there. I like the Chargers and Rams quite a bit. If you just want to take those two. And then, Sunday, we have some bad spots with some ugly teams facing each other. Sorry, spread Raiders Saints, but there are some fun games like we talked about, and those are the ones I'm going to be focused on, and really hammering some of the props.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think this was a good, again, the attention is the early look show. Again, check out Dub Club for a free week to get our final picks for tonight, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all the good stuff. This was fun. Again, thank you for bearing with us through the technical difficulties. Send us all the good vibes for best ball finals. Hopefully Steve can bring one home. Hopefully I can do well in the Bulldogs. So send good vibes there. And no, this is fun as always. For Tyler, for Steve, I'm Meg. Have a great and profitable week 17, and we'll see you next time.